Today I'm going to do some metal tooling. The first thing I'll do though is draw a design on a piece of paper here, and it's going to be inspired by Mexican folk art, sun designs. I also have some cups here that I'll use to trace some perfect circles for my sun. I'll do a big circle and a small circle. Now in Mexican folk art, a lot of the sun designs have faces, and they have a lot of different kinds of patterns. So as long as your sun has a face and some different patterns, it'll be a good design for this project. I'm using a pencil, so if I make any mistakes, I can easily erase them. I'm not drawing super duper hard with the pencil, so that if I do need to erase a mistake, it'll erase more easily. I'm thinking about patterns, and I'm thinking about how these sun designs are radial designs. They have some radial symmetry to them. And notice how I filled up the whole paper with my design. All right, my design is done. I'm gonna put my name on the back. And now I'm going to get a few more supplies. I'm going to get my tooling foil, and be very careful because the edges are kind of sharp. I'm getting a piece of felt, which I'll put underneath my tooling foil just to cushion it on the table. And I'm going to tape my design to the tooling foil. I'll just use one little piece of tape. I'm going to put it on the top, line up my design good, and tape it down just like that. So now my design's not going to slip and slide around while I trace it onto the tooling foil. Remember to have your felt underneath the foil. And now I'm going to use a pen to retrace my entire design so that it shows up on the tooling foil. And I'm gonna press kind of hard with the pen. I'm not gonna press so hard that my hand hurts or that I make a hole in my paper, but I'm gonna press hard enough so that I know my design is going to transfer onto the tooling foil underneath. And you can flip it up and check once in a while to see how it's going. All right, I am done retracing my design. I'll flip it up and it looks like the whole thing transferred to the tooling foil, and it's double-sided. So on one side, your design is kind of indented. The other side, it kind of pops out. So you can decide which side you're going to want to color on next. You'll finish your Mexican folk art inspired tooling foil design by coloring it with Sharpies. My tooling foil sun is finished, and now I need to put a border around the edges because the edges are kind of sharp. So I'm going to use some masking tape to create a border around the edges of my tooling foil. So I'm going to peel my tape. I'm going to check the length of tape that I need. And then I'm going to tear it off just like this, like you're ripping a piece of paper. That's how you tear a piece of masking tape off the roll. Make sure the tape is nice and straight. Put it against your tooling foil. And actually, I didn't have it on there like I wanted it to be, because I want most of the tape showing on the front so that I can draw a pattern on it later. And then I'm going to fold that little bit around to the back. I've got a little excess tape hanging off the edges here, so I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to snip those little pieces off. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with each side of my piece of tooling foil. So measure, see how long you need, tear it off, lay it down, and then fold it over on the back. Then you'll trim those little pieces off the end. I'm working slowly and carefully on all 4 sides. If you're not sure how to rip tape off of a tape roll, I want you to practice first. Okay, so I don't really care if you waste a few pieces of tape practicing, that's okay. But I want you to be able to do it on your own. And I want you to be able to put the tape around the edges of your tooling foil on your own as well, and make sure that they look neat and straight. Trim off my edges, and now that all my edges have been covered in tape, now I can decorate it with a Sharpie and add some more patterns to go along with the patterns on my sun.